Hey, I'm back with part 3 for paper 1 higher, November 2020 papers. Okay, so f and g are functions. Here are the functions. Find g of 5. Let us zoom in. Now, I'm substituting 5 into the g equation. So g of 5 is going to be 3 bracket 2 times 5 plus 1. 2 times 5 is 10, so 3 bracket 10 plus 1. 10 plus 1 is 11, so I've got 3 multiplied by 11, which is 33. So g of 5 is 33. Find g f9. So we start off with f9. We're going to substitute 9 into f. So we've got 12 over root 9. Root 9 is 3. That's 12 over 3, which is 4. Now the 4 that I've got, I'm going to substitute that into my g. So g of 4 is going to be 3 bracket 2 times 4 plus 1, which is 3 bracket 8 plus 1, which is 3 multiplied by 9, which is going to be 27. So GF9 is going to be 27. Let's make sure we know that's a 2. Now find g minus 1, 6. So this is inverse function. So gx is 3 bracket 2x plus 1. I'm going to make that equation equal to y. So y is equal to 3 bracket 2x minus 1. I'm going to expand it. Y is equal to 6x minus 3. Make x the subject. So this is add 3. I'm so sorry. This is add 3. 2x add 1, so it becomes add 3. So I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. Y minus 3 is equal to 6x. Divided by 6 on both sides. Y minus 3 over 6 equals to x. Now my g minus 1x equation is going to be x minus 3 over 6. I'm working out g minus 1, 6, so I substitute in 6. So I'm going to have 6 minus 3 over 6, which is 3 over 6, which is a half. So g minus 1, 6 is equal to 1 half. Okay, that's functions. Let's move on. We've got a third question. Show that this can be written in the form of a plus root 5 over b, where a and b are integers. So, first and foremost, root 80 simplifies. The biggest square number that goes into 180 is 36. 180 divided by 36 is 5. Root 36 gives me 6, so I'm left with 6 root 5. Substitute this back into that equation. So I've got 6 root 5 minus 2 root 5 over 5 root 5 minus 5. 6 root 5 take away 2 root 5 is left with 4 root 5. So I've got 4 root 5 over 5 root 5 minus 5. I now need to rationalize it, so I'll multiply with 5 root 5 plus 5 over 5 root 5 plus 5. I've got the top bracket, let's expand that. So 4 root 5 multiplied by 5 root 5 plus 5. 4 times 5 is 20, and then root 5 times root 5 is 5, so I've got 20 times 5. 4 root 5 times 5 is plus 20 root 5. Okay? This simplifies to give me 100 plus 20 root 5. Alright? Now the bottom brackets, I'll do that here. I've got 5 root 5 minus 5 and 5 root 5 plus 5. 5 root 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, and then root 5 times root 5 is 5. 5 root 5 times positive 5 is plus 25 root 5. Minus root 5 times 5 root 5 is minus 25 root 5. And then minus 5 times plus 5 is minus 25. These two cancel out. I'm left with 125 take away 25, which is 100. So the bottom of my fraction is just 100. Remember, it's difference of two squares, so you won't even get a third at the bottom. So I'm left with 100 plus 20 root 5 over 100. So I can write it as two separate fractions. 100 over 100 plus 20 root 5 over 100. 100 over 100 simplifies to give me 1, and 20 root 5 over 100 simplifies to give me root 5 over 5. Okay, because 20 over 100 can simplify to give me a fifth. So that's 1 root 5 over 5. Now, where a and b are integers, a would be 1 and b would be 5. That is your final answer. Okay, let us move on. Ooh, vectors. Okay, DEF is a triangle. P is the midpoint of FD, and Q is the midpoint of DE. FD is A and FE is B. So FD, this direction here is A, and FE, this direction, it's a bit wonky. That direction there is B. Okay, remember, if I go in the opposite directions, it's negative. Now, Use the vector to prove that PQ is parallel to FE. So I'm trying to prove that this line here is parallel to this FE line here. It's so wonky. Okay. Alright, so first and foremost, I'm going to work out how to get from P to Q. So PQ is equal to P to D plus D to Q. Okay? P to D plus D to Q. Keep up with the diagram, okay? It helps to draw it out. So to get from P to Q, it's the same as P to D plus D to Q. Now let us work out what P to D is. P to D is, P is the midpoint, so it is a half is equal to a half of F to D. And I know F to D is A, therefore P to D is equal to 1/2 A. Okay, so this direction here is a half A. Now let's work out this direction here. D to Q. Okay, now D to Q is a half of D to E. But what is D to E? That's what we need to work out. Right, now D to E is the same thing as going from D to F to E. Okay, so D to E, going from D to E, is the same as going from D to F and F to E. So D to E is the same thing as going from D to F plus F to E. D to F is minus A, so DE, I should put arrows on, is minus A plus B. Now remember that DQ is a half of DE. Therefore, DQ is going to be a half bracket minus A plus B. So DQ is going to be minus a half A plus a half B. Okay, oh, so sorry. Zoom out there. Okay, so D to Q is a half of minus A plus B. How have we got there? So D to E is the same as saying minus A plus B. This bit here is minus A plus B, and that is a half of that, so therefore that's going to be a half bracket minus A plus B. Okay? Now back to the original P to Q. P to Q was PD plus DQ, and I worked out that's PD, and I worked out that's DQ. So I'm going to add those together. So PQ is going to be a half A minus a half A plus a half B. A half A and a half A minus a half A cancel out. Therefore, PQ is equal to a half B. Okay? PQ is a half B. Now, FE is equal to B. I need to prove that PQ and FE are parallel. Now, PQ is a multiple of FE because a half B is a multiple, is a factor of, they are both multiples of each other. So B goes into a half B, they both have a factor of B. Okay, therefore PQ is a multiple of FE. Because PQ is a multiple of FE, therefore PQ and FE are parallel. Okay? PQ is a half B and FE is B. PQ is a multiple of B, therefore PQ and FE are parallel. Alright, let's finish this paper. The diagram shows two shaded shapes A and B. Shape A is formed removing a sector of a circle. So this is shape A. You've got a sector, take away this little sector, that gives you A. Now this is equal to this. Work out the value of x. To work out the formula of a sector, area of a sector, we've got theta over 360 multiplied by pi multiplied by radius squared. And to work out the area of a circle, you've got pi times radius squared. This is not the radius, this is the diameter. And diameter is equal to 2 radiuses. Therefore, the radius of this circle is going to be 1 minus x. Alright, now let's write down the equation. So the big sector, take away the small sector, gives me the shaded section, which is equal to that. So I'm going to do big sector minus small sector equals to area of circle. Okay, so let's do that. The big sector is going to be 45 over 360 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius of the big sector is 5x minus 1 squared. So that is the big sector. Take away the small sector, which is 45 over 360 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius of the small one is 3x minus 1 squared. And this is equal to pi times, that's the radius, so 1 minus x squared. Okay? Let's do that in pen actually now. Right, now 45 over 360 can simplify to give me 1/8. So I'm going to write these out as 1/8 pi multiplied by 5x minus 1 squared. So 1/8 pi multiplied by 3x minus 1 squared equals to pi times 1 minus x squared. Now I'm going to factorize these, the first two, by 1/8 pi. Okay, so I'm going to pull out 1/8 pi, and inside my bracket I'm going to have 5x minus 1 squared, take away 3x minus 1 squared, equals to pi times 1 minus x squared. Now, I can divide by pi on both sides, which means they cancel out. Now let's expand our brackets. So we've got 5x minus 1, 5x minus 1, minus 3x minus 1, 3x minus 1, equals to 1 minus x multiplied by 1 minus x. Let's expand everything out. So ignore the 1/8 for now. So that's going to give me 25x squared minus 10x plus 1. Take away 9x squared, take away 6x, add 1, equals to 1 minus 2x plus x squared. Now, we've got the 1/8 here. 25x squared, take away 9x squared, gives me 16x squared. Minus 10x minus 6x, so minus 10x plus 6x is minus 4x. And then 1 take away 1 cancels out, is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now I've got the 1/8. To get rid of the 1/8, I'm going to multiply by 8 on both sides, so it cancels out. I'm left with 16x squared minus 4x is equal to 8x squared minus 16x plus 8, because I multiplied it by 8 on both sides. I'm going to rearrange to make the equation equal to 0. So I'm going to take away 8x squared on both sides. 16x squared take away 8x squared is 8x squared. Let's get rid of that. Minus 4 minus 16x. So minus 4x plus 16x is plus 12x. And then I've got minus 8 equals to 0. Before I factorize, I can simplify everything in here is divisible by 4. So I'm left with 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals to 0. I'm going to factorize this. A, B, C. 2 times 2 is 4. My factors of 4 are 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. It's a plus 1 and minus 4. Sorry, plus 4 and minus 1. So 2x squared plus 4x minus x minus 2 equals 0. Split it down the middle. Pull out 2x on this side. I've got x plus 2 here, x plus 2 on this side, and I'm going to have a minus 1 on the outside. My final two brackets are going to be 2x minus 1 and x plus 2 equals 0. I'm going to solve them. Actually, right here. So 2x minus 1 equals 0. Therefore, x equals 2.5. X plus 2 equals 0. Therefore, x equals minus 2. I've got 2x solutions. However, x cannot be negative. Therefore, x equals to 1/2 or 0.5. Okay? It's a 5-mark question, guys. Very nice question. So what we did big sector take away small sector, gave us the area of the circle, equals to each other. So we wrote out all the algebra. We factorized it by 1/8 pi, and we divided by pi on both sides because we don't want pi in a non-calculator question. We expanded out everything, we simplified everything, we factorized everything. So it's basic rules here, basic methods. It's just about putting it all together and making sure your work is neat so that you try not to make any mistakes. Okay? Last question on this paper. There are 4 types of cards in a game. Number of cards with a black shape to the number of cards with a white shape is 3:5. The number of cards with a circle to the number of cards with a triangle is 2:7. Express the total number of cards with a black shape as a fraction of the total number of cards with a triangle. I'm going to make these into fractions. So 3:5 can be written as 3 out of 8 and 5 out of 8. And 2:7 can be written as 2 out of 9 and 7 out of 9. This is saying black shape as a fraction of cards with a triangle. So this is black shapes and white shapes. This is circles and this is triangles. So this is black shapes and this is triangles. I need to do black shapes as a fraction of the triangles, so I'm doing 3/8 divided by 7/9. How do I divide fractions? Keep, change, flip. So I'm going to do 3/8 multiplied by 9/7, which is 27/56, and that is my answer. Very straightforward question. Doesn't require too much working out. It's only 3 marks. That is my final question of this paper. This is paper 1 complete for the 2020 November papers. Thank you guys for watching. Do subscribe for more.